Hey guys, what is up? It is me, Pagey, here once again with another video on Arrow Season 5. Now, this is going to be a bit of a different video. There's not going to be like too much structure to it, but it's been very heavily requested, this topic, and that's on Olicity, whether it's returning and whether we should be worried for, you know, the ongoing stuff in Arrow Season 5 if it does actually return. Now, obviously, before we move any further, please listen to the video before just disliking. Oh my god, I know this dude, he hates Olicity, I'm going to click off the video. Please listen for a bit if you're curious as to what's going on. Give it a shot, just don't dislike and leave. Listen to what I have to say. As you would know, I don't like Olicity. I just don't think it works, and I'll explain why later in the video. But I will try and give my unbiased opinions when it comes to what's like the events of episode 19 and episode 20, which are the next two episodes. So yeah, give it a listen and let me know what you think of it all in the comments. One more thing before we move ahead, I actually do have a Facebook page. Some of you may have already liked it, but I will leave it linked in the description below if you want to go check it out. I am starting to use it more, and if you do have a Twitter account as well, you may as well go follow my Twitter as well if you aren't following it there. Twitter's the best place, but please go follow my Facebook because I'm trying to get it a bit up there, and I'm starting to post there more often, so it'd be very much appreciated if you could do that. So as I said, we're going to be talking about the possible return of Olicity on Arrow this season, and whether we should be worried about its possible return. Now, in episode 19, which is the episode that we come back to after the break, it is otherwise entitled Dangerous Liaisons, and if you have watched the trailer or even seen some of the promo pictures or just read the synopsis, you would know that it's really going to be Team Arrow versus Team Felicity or Team Helix, you know. Team Felicity, Team Helix, whichever way you want to put it. So this is going to be a big episode in regards to the Felicity storyline this season. You know, it's going to be the one where it comes to a head in regards to Oliver finding out what Felicity was doing and everything around that, because really, a lot of people know, apart from Oliver. It's a bit of a concern. But really, for the most part, episode 19 is just going to serve as like the entree, if you want to call it that, or just the little taste test for episode 20, which is really the episode and like the stuff that's been said about it that is getting a decent amount of people worried about Arrow's season 5 and its final couple of episodes. And some of the worry I can understand, but I'm just going to go through it and hopefully ease people down a bit, because I just don't think they're going to do some things that a lot of people think they're going to do. So if you didn't know and haven't read anything, the producers have said that episode 20, obviously the episode after episode 19, will be a very Olicity-centric episode, and Stephen Amell, who plays Oliver Queen, or the Green Arrow, has come out and said that every scene of this episode he is in, Emily Bett Rickards is with him. So every scene that Oliver's in, Felicity's in there. And you might be wondering, what about flashbacks? How does that work? Well, in this episode, it's going to be Olicity flashbacks. Well, maybe not Olicity flashbacks, because they're going to be between the events of, or between the end of season 4, so the season 4 finale, and the premiere this season. So the end of season 4 to the beginning of Arrow's season 5. So as you would know, if you've been watching Arrow, which I hope you have if you're watching this video, they weren't a couple then. They were just the last two members on Team Arrow. Everyone had left. Diggle had gone back to the army. Thea had left. Laurel had obviously passed away. So it was just Oliver and Felicity left, and well, it was really Oliver the only one out on the field. So really what they're going to cover there is most likely the struggles that Oliver faced when he was the only one out there, because you got to remember, at the end of season 4, what was one thing that also happened? Oliver became mayor. So they're going to have, that's I think what a lot of those season 4 to the beginning of season 5 flashbacks are going to be. It's that struggle that Oliver faced, and maybe how Felicity, you know, acted in those in that period. But there has been some stuff said that there will be flashbacks to previous seasons when Oliver and Felicity were in fact Olicity. They were a couple, mainly season 3 and maybe the beginning of season 4, but I would think season 3 when that sort of started, because I don't know, they might want to try and avoid season 4 stuff for obvious reasons. In the present day, I don't really know what's going to happen there. You think it would once again have to do with the events of episode 19, the repercussions. Maybe Felicity gets arrested at the end of episode 19, and the present day scenes between Oliver and Felicity are actually like in a jail, in like one of those rooms, like the meeting rooms, whatever they're called. That could be what happens. It wouldn't surprise me, because Felicity is obviously doing illegal stuff in episode 19, so it might come to something where, you know, she gets arrested. I don't know if they'll actually do that, but I wouldn't be surprised if that was how they played it out. But let me know what you think all of that could be, because I think the flashbacks, you know, in between season 4 and season 5 it's going to be dealing with like the struggles they faced when Oliver was the only one out there, and maybe Felicity was supporting him in some way, or maybe Felicity wasn't very supportive. And then I think we'll get some flashbacks to, you know, some season 3 stuff and maybe some season 4 and maybe even some season 1 and 2 when like, you know, in season 1 when like they first met and stuff like that, and season 2 when there was stuff doing there. So I think it'll be very varied, but the majority of those flashbacks in that episode will be those in between the end of season 4 and the beginning of season 5. Now, do I think Olicity is back? No, I really don't think it's going to be back after this. I think this episode is going to be sort of that like, what's the word to use? I would say ultimatum, but I don't think that's the correct word to use. It's just like a point in which they're going to address what is going on, because I think a lot of the time this season there's been frustration about like what's going on here, because there's been scenes this season where obviously Felicity is going against Oliver, going against his actions, her taking charge when she, you know, doesn't really have the right to, you know, different scenes like the Black Siren episode early this season when Felicity was commanding all the new recruits and they should have been listening to Oliver, stuff like that. So they might address certain things like that, how Felicity's been acting this season, as well as the whole Helix stuff as well. I think that's going to be a big topic. But in regards to their relationship as Olicity, I really don't think that's going to be a big part of the episode, apart from the flashbacks, especially if they do stuff in seasons 3 and 4 and it's their past feelings. Because you got to remember, Oliver and Sarah had feelings and relationships and sexual relations before, and they can act normal together. So this could be one of those episodes where they just address it, move on. They're no longer, you know, they're always going to care for each other, but they're not going to be that type of relationship. They're just going to be friends. They're going to be co-workers. They're going to be partners in a teammate sort of sense, and then move on from there leading into season 6. Because you got to remember, season 5 is almost like an end of a chapter. So I think if they wrapped up this whole Olicity thing at the end of season 5, we moved into season 6 with some, you know, some fresh ideas and stuff like that for the new character, or for these two characters that don't involve them being necessarily together. I think it's actually good, because I think one of the strong parts about this season in regards to Felicity is that she's not tied to Olicity. You know, in seasons 3 and 4, it was seasons 3 and 4, especially 4, it was tied around Olicity. Like, you know, the fans of Felicity didn't care about Felicity, they cared about Olicity. It was like, when are they getting back together? Oh my god, why do they break up? Different stuff like that, and they have nailed it this season in regards to Felicity, especially after Billy Malone's death, in regards to how she's handled it and the different storyline that they've given her, which I actually am very much enjoying. If you have watched my reviews, you would know that I've said that it's pretty good for the character. So hopefully they do more of that and just not rely on, you know, writing Felicity as a character that depends on a relationship, which I think a lot of these CW shows can sort of struggle with. They're definitely struggling with that with Iris West. They're really struggling to make her a character outside of her relationship with Barry Allen. They tried to, and then they just sort of went away with it. And even you can argue in Supergirl as well with Kara, they're sort of struggling with that. Like, oh, she has to be with Mon-El. Well, does she? Because I don't think she necessarily has to. I don't hate that thing, but you know, she doesn't have to be with Mon-El, you know. But seeing that they have promoted it and they're saying this episode is an Olicity episode, and it's an Olicity-centric episode in both the present time and the flashbacks. These two characters are in every single scene together, like I said before. I think it just means that this could be the point in which it's wrapped up. They deal with it in one episode while possibly still continuing on the main storyline. I don't know how they would. It might be a bit difficult. So some people might see this as a filler episode, even though if you think about it, it's pretty central to the show's plot, not only for this season, but as the series and the show as a whole. It's pretty important. So I can't really call this a filler episode, but this could be the episode in which they address it, get it over with, and then they move on from here, leading into the last 21, 22, 23. That's 3 episodes. It's a big 3 episodes as well, especially the last 2. So yeah, I think they might want to address it now and not address it like episode 22 or 23 when things start to heat up. But thanks for watching, guys. If you did enjoy the video, it'd be very much appreciated if you could leave a like on it. Let me know in the comment section down below what you think of all of this stuff. Do you agree with anything I've said? Do you think that Olicity is coming back? And what do you think is going to happen in episode 20? Do you think all the flashbacks are going to be between season 4 and season 5? Or do you think we'll get some flashbacks from seasons 1, 2, 3 and the early parts of season 4 as well? Just leave all those opinions in the comment section down below. And of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. I'll catch you later, guys. Goodbye.